Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we dive into the fascinating science behind our everyday lives. Have you ever stopped to think about the unwritten rules you follow every single day? Why you automatically lower your voice in a library, or why you stand a certain distance from strangers in an elevator? We are all guided by a silent, invisible architecture, social norms. These unwritten codes of conduct are the very building blocks of our society, so embedded in our lives that we often follow them without a second thought. But here's the thing, these powerful forces are not set in stone. They are in a constant state of flux, evolving with our societies, and in turn, rewriting our understanding of the world. This evolution, once a slow, almost imperceptible process, is now happening at a dizzying pace. Think about the rapid shift in attitudes towards same-sex marriage, or how smoking in public places went from completely normal to widely discouraged in just a few decades. These changes reveal just how dynamic our social world really is. So what's the engine of all this change? What drives the evolution of our social rules? One of the biggest drivers has always been social movements and activism. Passionate groups of people have been the primary catalyst for changing norms throughout history. The feminist movement, for example, fundamentally challenged long-held beliefs about gender roles, leading to huge advancements in women's rights. Technology and media are another massive force. The invention of email, texting, and social media has completely rewired our communication norms. And it's not just how we talk, but what we see. As movies and TV shows began to portray women and minority groups in more diverse and empowering ways, it helped shift broader societal attitudes. Of course, formal rules and laws play a huge part. When a government legalizes something like same-sex marriage, it doesn't just grant legal rights, it sends a powerful signal of societal acceptance that influences public opinion. But perhaps the most fascinating driver of change is the power of perception. Sometimes, norms change not because our private beliefs have changed, but because our perception of what others believe has shifted. This is a phenomenon known as pluralistic ignorance. It's when a majority of people privately reject a norm, but go along with it, because they incorrectly assume that everyone else accepts it. All it takes is for a few brave individuals to publicly challenge the norm, and suddenly, a snowball effect can lead to incredibly rapid change. This brings up a big question. How do we actually track these shifting tides of public opinion and bias? It's no longer a matter of guesswork. Researchers now have a sophisticated toolkit. Traditional methods like surveys and public opinion polls are still the cornerstone. By asking a representative sample of people the same questions over time, we can gauge how sentiments are shifting. But to get the why behind the numbers, researchers use qualitative methods like focus groups and in-depth interviews. A clever technique involves using vignettes, short, hypothetical stories about imaginary characters, to reveal our underlying social expectations in a less direct and possibly more honest way. But now, we're in the digital age. The explosion of social media has given us an unprecedented, real-time window into public discourse. Researchers can use social media listening to analyze conversations on platforms like X and Facebook to track emerging trends on a massive scale. With the help of artificial intelligence, they can use text and opinion mining to analyze vast amounts of data, identifying patterns and subtle biases that a human might miss. However, it's crucial to remember that social media has its own biases. A vocal minority can often seem much larger than it actually is. It's not all about big data, though. Some of the most powerful insights come from empowering communities to become part of the research themselves, using creative techniques like body mapping or ranking exercises to express their own understanding of the world. The evolution of our social norms is a continuous and often messy process. Change is often met with resistance from those who benefit from the way things are. But understanding these dynamics isn't just an academic exercise. It is absolutely crucial for tackling the most pressing challenges of our time, from promoting public health and fighting climate change, to fostering greater social justice and equality. By understanding how the unwritten rules of our world are rewritten, we can all play a part in creating a more just and equitable future. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online. Until next time, keep questioning.